A very good evening to you all and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 30th day of April 2024. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, African Heads of State and Government appeal to World Bank for more capital injection. Uganda launches the first National Children's Play Day to highlight the power of playing in a child's life. Muslim women lawyers petition court over Qadi courts. And in sports, the UPDF Engineers Brigade confirms Nambole Stadium is ready to host test games this Wednesday. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live, online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, Minister for Education and Sports Janet Kataha Museveni has pledged a government commitment to emphasizing policies that encourage learning through play. She made the remarks at the launch of the National Play Day held at Kololo Independence Grounds. We have more in this story.
Uganda has launched its first ever National Children's Play Day to raise awareness about the transformative power of play in a child's life and its crucial role in healthy development. The First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni, who doubles as Minister of Education and Sports, unveiled government's commitment to creating play spaces for proper upbringing of children across the country.
Government does recognize the value of play in supporting children's holistic development and lifelong learning, as well as the collective effort required from all stakeholders, including parents, to ensure that every child is given the opportunity and space to play.
She urged parents to fulfill their responsibilities in the proper development of their children by providing them with a play and learning environment.
For this National Play Day is vital in enabling us to introduce in a formal way for this country to remember that our children need to be children, they need to be allowed to play, both at home and in school, because we shouldn't think about play as if it only happens in school. Play should begin to happen at home.
Highlighting the importance of play to a child, Katie Lamaro, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports, emphasized play as the cornerstone of childhood development.
The Ministry of Education and Sports is committed to working with stakeholders to ensure that play is emphasized in teaching and learning through retooling teachers, providing instructional materials, for example, teachers' guides, and sharing effective practices for learning through play. We are in the process of developing the National Guidelines for Learning Through Play, and the National Curriculum Development Center and the Basic Education Department are leading this process.
The country director of UNICEF reaffirmed their commitment to upholding every child's rights to play, ensuring they thrive and fulfill their potential.
In collaboration with the government of Uganda, Play Action International, UNICEF has committed to building 72 new playgrounds in ECD centers and schools around Uganda. UNICEF remains steadfast in its commitment to partnering with the government of Uganda and stakeholders to advance the transformative agenda of learning through play.
Country Director of Plan International stressed the significance of learning through play and urged everyone to prioritize play as an essential component in their children's lives.
We acknowledge that while play is not a solution to everything, it provides a crucial foundation for overcoming and addressing challenges that our children face.
The Play Day brought together over 600 participants, including government officials, educators, caregivers, children, and representatives from the private sector.
The National Play Day launch signifies a step forward in Uganda's recognition of play as an element of a child's well-being and education. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has pledged to cooperate with the Buganda Kingdom in changing people's lives. This was disclosed during a courtesy visit by the Managing Director of UBC, Winston David Agaba, to the second Deputy Katikiro of Buganda Kingdom, Robert Nsibirwa at Bulangi, Mengo.
The UBC Managing Director, Winston Agaba, has paid a courtesy visit to the second Deputy Katikiro of Buganda Kingdom, Robert Wagwa Nsubira. The two discussed matters that concern UBC, Buganda Kingdom, and Kingdom's media houses. Both parties had a closed-door meeting before addressing the media. In his speech to the media, the Deputy Katikiro Robert Wagwa Nsubira said the two entities discussed on how best they can improve the media landscape and the kingdom at large.
Today, we are honored to receive a delegation from Uganda Broadcasting Corporation led by the Group Chief Executive, Mr. Agaba, with whole his team. We had deep discussions on how best we can improve and ensure that the media, especially the television landscape in the country, in Uganda and the country, can be enhanced. We also shared insights and foresights on what's coming on in the digital era and in the media era when it comes to television broadcasting. We also exchanged ideas on how we can cooperate. The Uganda UBC and BBS Telefina, we could share content and they could share reach, and we see how we again build our nation, Uganda.
The Managing Director, UBC, Winston Agaba, said, Buganda Kingdom being on the forefront of development, he pledged the corporation's commitment in working with the kingdom in different aspects.
Looking at ways of how to work together, because publicity is key. The kingdom is at the forefront of development, not only just culture, but also seeing how the people in Buganda can live a better life. So as UBC, we are committed into making sure that all the activities that the kingdom are involved in, we shall give them due publicity and in the spirit of making sure that all the activities are known by the kingdom and the subjects of the kingdom.
UBC bought Buganda Kingdom certificate worth 1 million shillings towards supporting the kingdom works. The MD of UBC was accompanied by the Director of Finance, Dr. Peter Kagwa, Star TV Programs Director Michael Balaba, among other delegations. Andrew Sebira compiled this report for you.
Civil society organizations dealing with health have opposed some of the content in the draft World Health Organization pandemic agreement, terming them as unfair, especially to the developing countries. The pandemic agreement is a potential international agreement currently being discussed by the 194 member states of the World Health Organization.
The pandemic agreement is a potential international agreement being discussed by the 194 member states of the World Health Organization, including Uganda. The objective is to help the world prevent, prepare for, and respond to pandemics. Spearheaded by AIDS Healthcare Foundation, Uganda Cares, civil society organizations in Uganda are not satisfied with the draft agreement on grounds that it does not fairly represent the issues of African countries, such as reducing inequalities in healthcare between developed and developing countries.
We cannot compromise on a win for Africa and by extension a win for global health security. At the heart of our concern is the urgent need for robust accountability mechanism within the agreement, including independent oversight. Without clear enforcement of frameworks and incentives for compliance, we risk perpetuating the inequalities that have plagued our response to COVID-19 pandemic.
And the enforcement mechanism for the agreement, the enforcement mechanism, how will this enforcement look like? I know there's already a framework and design of how the enforcement will look like. But what our concern is in terms of the financing, how are we going to finance it? How are we going to enforce the aspects of financing? It needs to come clear in this agreement. Are the development partners, are the international organization going to help the developing countries? Or as the developing countries, are we going to contribute to this preparedness ourselves?
The World Health Organization pandemic agreement has come at a time when the African Union is advancing to achieve 60% of vaccine manufacturing in Africa by 2040. Adia Nakote, UBC.
Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Baragahara Atenyi, has rallied youth to make use of the available government programs to become job creators. He says all government programs are designed to help all Ugandans join the money economy, which is part of the NRM's transformational agenda. Minister Balam was at Mengo Zonal Industrial Skilling Hub graduation ceremony in Bugerere, Nazigo, Kayunga district.
A total of 462 trainees drawn from 11 districts in the central region completed their vocational training, have been awarded certificates in 7 disciplines. The skilled youth were awarded with the Uganda Vocational Qualifications Level 1 Certificate of Directorate of Industrial Training DIT, which is equivalent to the Ministry of Education and Sports Uganda Certificate of Education Level. Speaking at the graduation ceremony, the Minister in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara, pledged to rally more support towards the project.
Tujja kuyita mu nkola yaffe eya gavumenti nga tutegeeza president nga tuyita mu cabinet ne parliament okulaba nti mba musomye babawe tools abasomye okubajja mwagala landa kino landa si eranda abakola enviiri mwagala dryer abokya ebyuma baagala welding machine abaketaringi mwagala oveni. Kale ebintu tugenda kubisaba omukulembeze w'eggwanga naye ng'ekikulu kati ekiriwo omukulembeze yantumye mbagambe ebintu bisatu. Omukulembeze yaŋŋambye nga mpadde obukulu genda otegeeza abavubuka ababato balwanyise obuli bw'enguzi mu bitundu byabwe. Singa tumalawo obuli bw'enguzi mujja kufuna ssente ezinaamala ezinaatugulira tools ezo zituyambye nga bw'oba omaze okusoma ofuna tools ezikutwala mu maaso.
The ceremony was also addressed by the Minister for Kampala Affairs, Hajati Minsa Kabanda.
Kyosaba tukozesa omutwe gwaffe gwe tusomye. Waliwo omwala yagambye nti mwetege musobole okulaba nga abantu babalaba. Gwe labisa omutindo gw'oyize wano obagambe nti nze asinga. Ffenna singa situotega Pulezidenti we Kaguta Museveni teyali tulabye. Naye twetega n'asobola okukola ki? Ate mulina chance timufunye. Okwetega kwe kwetega mu mulimu. Kwe kwetega tewetegekera musajja, tewetegekera mukazi. Wetega nga wetegekera ekirungi ky'osobola okukola. Nolwe ky'osaba twetege nga tumanyi bye tugenda okukola.
The Director, Presidential Projects and Industrial Hubs, Raymond Kamugisha and Kwankwansa, thanked President Museveni for having the vision to begin industrial skilling hubs that are turning uneducated youth into job creators with now certificates. The area district member of Parliament, Elios Aida Nantawa, couldn't agree anymore.
negamba tukyuseemu tuddeyo ku nnono tukuze omwana amanyi okuluka omukeeka tutendeko omwana asobola okukola ekitanda ndabye ekitanda wali ekyeddwaliro tubadde tuyisa ssente mu parliament ezigula ebintu ebikozesebwa mu malwaliro ng'ekitanda kimu kigula essente zitakawa bukadde 5 naye kye bakoze wano kigula miliyoni 1. awe twebaliza President Museveni olw'ekirooto ekyo.
For the beneficiaries gave testimonies on how the project has changed their lives.
Nebaza habo olw'okuba nga yampa skill gye nnina kati kuba kati ndi musanyufu yenfudde kikyendi sikyasobola gwa mu nsobi ze nasooka kugwamu era bawala bannange mwetanire nnyo ebintu bino temugenda kola nsobi kuba omuntu eyeekolera tokola nsobi.
Emyezi 6 gye nasoma omulimu gw'okwokya ebyuma ndayira ginsingira emyaka 16 gye namala mu P7 senior 4 ne senior 6 lwasonga nti kati wano wendi emyezi 6 sijejjusa anti enfaanana mugiraba.
The ceremony attracted a section of leaders from the NRM and opposition, notably the National Unity Platform member, who is the current LOC5 Mukono District, Wakalwa Mukasa, who commended President Kaguta Museveni for the non-partisan initiative of skilling the youth. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Minister for Relief and Disaster Preparedness in the Prime Minister's office, Engineer Hilary Onek, has commended the role played by Windall International Trust towards their dedication to education of refugees and other marginalized communities in Uganda. This was in a message delivered on his behalf by the Acting Commissioner for Refugees, Douglas Asimwe, at the launch of the James Ariam Refugee Scholarship Program at 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel here in Kampala, in memory of the late Windall International Executive Director, James Ariam, who spearheaded higher education among refugee communities in Uganda.
Required in the photo, and
a lot has been said about Windall. I'll now put it to the students and congratulate you for being the first cohort of this program, and you must live to the values of not only Windall but also the values that have been ably enumerated in honor of James. This way, that's how we'll take his legacy.
So we at Windall Trust International committed to this program and committed to working with Windall International Uganda. And I would like to announce that 10 more students are coming this year to add to the 12. So we hope in the 10 we'll have 5 Somalis and 5 Sudanese.
I've seen how opportunities as scholarships can really affect the lives of the people who take the scholarships. I can see the effect in the communities. I can see the effects in the families.
So today we're here to reflect with 12 South Sudanese students who are undertaking studies at Makerere and Chambogo universities. We know education makes a significant difference in the lives of people.
Trust Uganda. These young people that you are now giving a scholarship, as soon as they are done with the books and studies, they should go back home and join the politics. When we have a good citizen in the country, you will see the crisis now going down.
I was the father, the most loving father of my children. I have been so blessed to have shared the last 14 years of his life.
For photos, someone saying, no, the moderator, no, for me, I'll get mine later.
Uganda's ambassador for Diaspora Affairs, Haji Abe Walusimbi, has urged Ugandans abroad to concentrate on the purposes of their interests rather than protest to which he says would block travel opportunities for other Ugandans. Walusimbi made the remarks in an interview with UBC at his office here in Kampala.
The government of Uganda, working closely with her ministerial agencies, has sought collaborative relationships with the foreign countries meant to open opportunities to improve their standards of living.
His Excellency the President wa Uganda okuba nti afuba okulaba nti ateekawo enkolegana n'amawanga gonna mu nsi yonna kulaba nti bagakolegana ne Uganda tusuubula nabo basuubula naffe.
However, due to various reasons, including differences in political ideologies, Ugandans have been engaged in protests abroad. Recently, videos showing alleged NUP members in Canada went viral on social media platforms, expressing their dissatisfaction over some concerns.
You have regular meetings with your members and you keep up mobilizing and growing the chapter. And two, what we do, we agitate for change. So protest is a way of agitating for change.
Calvin Kayanja, who wishes to be referred to as a concerned Ugandan citizen, was forced to write to the Prime Minister of Canada on the issue, listing names of Ugandans in Canada whom he says have no political threat back home in Uganda.
Ebbaluwa gye twawandiikira Prime Minister we Canada nga tumutegeeza nti mwe mwalemererwa kukola na mikono gyammwe ne mwekwasa ebyobufuzi ne mudduka mu Uganda. Teri abanoonya ne mudda ku kifaananyi kya Uganda okukittattanya nti baabagoba babanoonya.
Speaking to UBC, Ugandan Ambassador for Diaspora Affairs Haji Abe Walusimbi condemned those who have made it a habit to protest abroad.
Ni bangi batandise okukolamu ebintu ebiranga byonoona gye bavudde. Oli n'anyiiga n'ateeka mu bingi n'engeri gye batambulamu nga balinga abafunye abalinnye waggulu eddala ne balikanyuga. Kugamba nibanga libaleetedde abalala okuba nti bagenda kubanga emikisa gyabwe bagibattira.
Walusimbi also shares concerns with the Kayanja's act of writing to the Canadian Premier against his fellow nationals.
Tumanyi waliwo abantu bayombagana naddala mu byobufuzi kuwandiikira Prime Minister w'eggwanga tetuyinamu enkolagana ennungi ennyo ne Uganda. Nembanga muwaayo listi y'abantu bannayuganda bannaffe abaliyo nze ndaba nti ekyo kyatuuka wala era nga gavumenti tetukikiririzaamu.
The Ugandan government, through its externalization of labor program, has secured working relationships with Qatar.
Twakafuna omwaka guno nja kugamba oguliwo ddala kati Qatar gye twasayininze nayo nga mwakijjukira nakyogerako mu November niye twayisayininze mu March. Twagala okufunawo enkolagana okulaba nti tunoonyeza abantu baffe kubo tubongeza obafunire kubo.
Efforts to talk to Calvin Kayanja for comment were futile as his phone numbers were not available. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
We've hit refresh with Castle Lights. A premium new look. With the shiny silver label. An innovative cold indicator. A premium green neck label for a crisp and easy drinking beer. Fresh new look. Experience the fresh Newcastle Light.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Luo segment.
Learn about the famous legend of Jipiri and Labongo and how the Alur, Acholi, Jonam and Japadola, Jaluo emerged.
The Luo are basically Nilotic. We are believed to have come from Baragazel in the Sudan. When this colonialism came,
Which saved the life of men actually.
fought fiercely. Which was imprisoned here on that hill, Kololo.
Which remain the greatest hero in Acholi.
Premiering on Saturday the 20th of April 2024, 3 to 8 p.m. at Ndere Center. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko pamoja?
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby junior jelly. Baby junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby junior.
Baby junior.
Matters pertaining to the health sector now, and one Irene Lisa Nerima is suffering from end-stage kidney disease and needs a transplant immediately. Now, regardless of having got an organ donor, she is still stuck financially. Nerima shares her struggle with chronic kidney disease for months now as she looks for 80 million Ugandan shillings for kidney transplant at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi.
Irene Lisa Nerima, a 29-year-old beauty therapist, was diagnosed with end-stage kidney disease in June 2023 after a series of laboratory examinations. Nerima says after the doctor handed over the results to her, she felt devastated but had to accept her fate despite the hurting situation she's going through.
I was living in denial, that is it. When I went to Mulago, they told me I have an infection. Then after the results came in, when they were really bad, then I went to Stamodan. I couldn't believe until I went to Lassens. When they told me try Lassens, that is when I was like, God, why me? I couldn't believe. There's even a time I reached and I'm like, instead of my family spending all this money, why don't I just die? But I realized maybe I have a purpose in life, that's why I'm still alive. I would have died in Kampala because they kept on giving me antibiotics and painkillers, and the pain was increasing on every day. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The only time I would sleep, I think it would be like 6 a.m. in the morning, and I would sleep like for 1 or 2 hours and still wake up and look until the next day.
Having a donor for her kidney transplant, Nerima says that they are still constrained financially and is calling upon well-wishers to assist her get back to her feet again through 0751 143184 or 0772 561623 under Nawiri Juliet, and also 0777 440252 or 0752 440223 under Stephen Wandera.
Scheduled already the transplant date is because we need the money. Most hospitals actually are supposed to pay at least half or full amount, and we don't have it right now. Had advised us that we look for 80 million.
For the whole transplant?
Yeah, for the whole transplant. The well-wishers, the Good Samaritans, the government of Uganda, I was humbly requesting for your help so that I get a second chance to life. Thank you.
In the meantime, she's doing dialysis at Mulago National Referral Hospital as she awaits for her due date for the transplant, but she advised those with her condition not to lose hope. End-stage kidney disease is the last stage of long-term chronic kidney disease. This is when your kidneys can no longer support your body needs. End-stage kidney disease is also called end-stage renal disease. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Very touching story there of Irene Lisa Nerima. Now, Action Aid International Uganda, in partnership with its development partners, has launched the Climate Justice Week, a campaign demanding accountability from countries contributing to greenhouse gas emissions. The event, scheduled from the 29th of April to May 17th, 2024, aims to mobilize change and advocate for climate justice. Sudat Kaye reports.
Xavier Onapito, the Executive Director of Action Aid Uganda, has made emphasis that countries responsible for emissions must compensate for the loss and damages caused. This call to action is a crucial step towards addressing the devastating impacts of climate change, which disproportionately affect vulnerable communities.
We found out that over $460 billion from banks and other financiers go to fund fossil fuel-related investment, that is oil, gas, coal, and so on. Those are the leading contributors to the greenhouse gas emissions globally. Okay? So we can't be talking that we are affected by climate change and so on, and yet we are, as a globe, putting money, and most of the money, in funding investments in fossil fuel. And so we need to put our money where our mouth is. If climate change is causing poverty, if it is impairing lives, and then we need to pronounce it as such and shift the money away from those promoting that.
Sheila Apinyi, the program coordinator of Action Aid, reiterated the organization commitment to shifting away from harmful emissions and promoting sustainable practices.
Climate justice is not looked at from a broader perspective, but let's conceptualize it and contextualize it to the realities, the daily struggles of women who have to walk distances to get water for domestic use, for the animals that suffer because there is no grass. So it's about human justice, but also biodiversity justice, because we should be concerned about biodiversity loss. We are losing several species of very important animals in the ecosystem.
The Climate Justice Week will bring together various stakeholders, including communities, activists, and policymakers, to demand urgent action on climate change.
We also wish to call upon our government to scale up mitigation measures on climate change. We already have the national determined contributions that was enriched with all our input. Now what is remaining is living to those commitments.
Through this campaign, Action Aid and its partners seek to hold accountable those responsible for the climate crisis and push for transformative change. The launch of the Climate Justice Week is essential towards demanding for a sustainable future for all. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, the Commissioner Secretariat for Patriotism Clubs in the Office of the President, Helen Seku, has encouraged youth to focus on wealth creation and desist from sectarianism, protect the environment by planting trees, and preserve what the country has. This was contained in a speech read for her by the Principal Monitoring Officer for Higher Institutions at Patriotism Secretariat, Kampala, Michael Okik. At the pass out of over 500 patriots at Kira College Butiki, the head teacher of the college, Moses Semwanga, told patriots to observe discipline and hard work. Take a watch.
Destroy the environment, you are accountable. Because the mandate has even already been given to you by the head teacher to take care of the environment and the surrounding. So you're always going to be accountable for it. You should always be non-sectarians. So let's be against sectarian. Let's live as one. Let's seek Pan-Africanism. Let's seek East Africanism. Just to congratulate you all, gallant sons of Uganda, and believe that your experience is in this training will impact on your critical thinking and put more water to your motto of discipline and hard work.
Your country begins from loving your home, loving your culture, loving your school. But patriots don't complain. They bear solutions. If the toilet is smelling, they will put a solution. So I expect that that's the kind of citizen we are sending out to the world. Those are our days.
We'll now take a short break and return with the latest in business.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Cheers to something refreshingly different. Putting the brakes on a fast-paced world. Slowing down. Just enough to stand out. Cheers to the beer that does it differently. Brewed longer for extra refreshment. Refreshing Club. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to the IFRIS Fact Checker, proudly brought to you by the Uganda Revenue Authority. Is the IFRIS a tax? IFRIS is not a tax. It stands for the Electronic Fiscal Receipting and Invoicing Solution, which is a platform designed to monitor the value-added tax VAT reported to the Uganda Revenue Authority by traders. By using IFRIS, you can eliminate the tedious process of managing records and enjoying the benefits of an efficient and streamlined system. Is IFRIS compulsory in Uganda? Only VAT-registered taxpayers who must issue e-invoices are required to use IFRIS for all transactions, whether exempt or taxable. Does the Uganda Revenue Authority expect me to use IFRIS when I'm not VAT registered? You can enroll for IFRIS voluntarily even if you are not VAT registered. This allows you to enjoy the benefits it offers to businesses. Have taxpayers been supported to use IFRIS? The Uganda Revenue Authority has a taxpayer education and support program that is comprehensive in its scope. The program aims to promote awareness among taxpayers about various strategic initiatives that the URA has implemented. How is the Commission agent, also known as the Omoyiribi, affected and assisted under IFRIS? If a common agent or Omoyiribi is registered for taxes, they are required to keep stock of the goods they sell and issue an electronic invoice. However, if a commission agent is not registered for VAT, they can sell the items as usual and provide a regular receipt. It is important to ensure that the receipt includes all necessary information, such as the business name, date, contact information, tax identification number, description of items, and the amount sold, among other details. What happens when the network or internet is down while using IFRIS? You can issue e-invoices using IFRIS app or desktop software, even in offline mode. However, you must connect to the internet within a week to upload the generated information to the system. What platforms are in place to enable you use IFRIS? The Uganda Revenue Authority has provided alternative channels and technology options that traders may choose from to use IFRIS. These include the IFRIS app on mobile smartphones, the desktop application, the URA web portal, the electronic fiscal device, and the system-to-system connection.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. In line with global environment and energy goals, Safe Border, a local ride-hailing company, has launched a partnership with various companies who manufacture electric motorcycles that will offer affordable loaned bikes on full or installment payment plans to Safe Border riders. The Minister of Science and Technology deems this initiative as revolutionary in transforming the transport sector of Uganda through local innovation.
I'm a pregnant woman. Very few months I will be giving birth, but I can still ride an EV bike.
Uganda's electric vehicle subsector players are quickly harnessing the global renewable energy agenda, evidenced by accelerated partnerships.
Nothing can happen with one company or one Safe Border or one Gogo Electric or one Ministry of Science and Technology. We need to come all together as providers who work in this ecosystem.
Safe Border is deepening its mark as a pioneer innovator in Uganda's transport sector, collaborating with government and other innovators to transition the country off its dependency on fossil fuels.
This can now seamlessly link to the mass transit, because I could basically connect myself through
Tax exemptions will partly solve the challenges this sector faces, one being the high overhead costs incurred to setting up enabling infrastructure.
But if you are importing spare parts and you are inputting some of the components from here, then we give you a tax exemption. We have also made a VAT exemption for locally manufactured electric bikes.
Yeah, so the electricity is difficult. I think really in the more off-grid areas is where we're going to have challenges when we really go up into these remote areas. For now, even if we have expanded the most across the country, we are still not in proper rural areas where, like Karamoja, for example.
Dr. Monica Musenero commends the concerted effort by these players and encourages them to compete healthily for the holistic goal of transforming Uganda into a modern country. Wadulo Makanold, UBC Business.
Indeed, that's a very good innovation there. Now, Uganda cooperators have unanimously resolved to establish their own bank, citing government delays in reviving National Cooperative Bank. The chairperson of National Alliance for Agricultural Cooperatives in Uganda, Emi Sayeko, emphasized the overdue revival initially proposed 6 years ago in Parliament. The decision was made during the annual general meeting in Kampala. We have more in this story.
In response to government delays in reviving the National Cooperative Bank, cooperators have taken proactive steps to establish their own financial institution.
If the individual 30,000 members contribute just 1 million shillings, we should be able to make up a business arm, which will not have a capital less than 50 billion in one go without struggling to finance farmers. In the long run, we shall develop this arm into a bank.
The chairperson of National Alliance for Agricultural Cooperatives in Uganda, Emi Sayeko, highlighted the necessity 6 years after the initial proposal in Parliament.
This cooperative bank, I'm chanced to have attended a COSASE meeting in Parliament when we were trying to say it should be revived. And now it has taken about 6 years from that point when it was supposed to be. It should have either been, a compensation should have been made to the cooperators or revive the bank. So at that pace, I don't think it is a short time.
The Chief Executive Officer, National Alliance of Agricultural Cooperatives, Harrison Kaziro, emphasized the necessity for accessible financial support to empower the cooperators.
Because we have banks at the moment, and they have financing, but the farmers aren't accessing it. So it could still be the same thing with a new bank. So what we need is the existing financial institutions and upcoming ones, and the new ones which are going to come, to ensure that the farmers are able to access the financing which they have available.
However, the officials from the Ministry of Trade, Cooperatives and Industry assured the cooperators of government's commitment to revive the National Cooperative Bank.
We wrote a cabinet paper that we presented to cabinet, and in that cabinet paper we are seeking government guidance, especially in the areas of equity and the roles of the stakeholders, because those two move hand in hand.
But the cooperators insist that the reviving of the National Cooperative Bank will not deter them from proceeding with their planned establishment of their own bank.
This does not stop us from moving ahead. If we do faster, it will make them also move faster. Because for 6 years they have remained without doing the active part of managing this part of promoting farmers.
This was during the annual general meeting held in Kampala to discuss the issues affecting cooperators in the country. Maureen Babidi and Okoro Joseph for UBC News.
The 13th Annual Insurance Awards Gala took center stage at Speak Resort Munyonyo, awarding the best agents in the insurance sector. More than 20 insurance companies competed for these awards, as we hear from Amon Ngabo.
For every hard work, there should be a reward. Uganda Insurers Association awarded the best insurance agents in the land. At Speak Resort Munyonyo, the 2024 Insurance Agents Awards geared at improving performance, giving agents a platform for genuine feedback. Insurance agents acknowledged the need to evolve with the increased use of technology, calling on the need to readjust.
We need to embrace technology. I think most of people now have smartphones, so we should be doing a lot of online selling. We should be embracing the internet sales. We should think outside of the box. We could buy maybe Facebook ads, things like that going forward. I see the future in technology.
At the same gala, it was unveiled that the insurance agents contribute more than 50% of the annual revenue in the insurance sector, hence the need for recognition.
And for the coming year, I see things are getting better because there's a lot of advertisement now. There are people who have gotten their maturities, and so the belief in insurance, actually people are getting aware. Insurance awareness is becoming more, though we are at 5%, but last year it grew by 21% in terms of premiums. So the coming year, I'm hoping and very positive about more sales and more reaching out to more people, because we are selling a life-changing product and we are selling a very good product, which actually everyone should be having.
For the winner's part, Jubilee Insurance's Tugumanawe Aaron took home Best New Agent Endowment Policy Award. Diana Sempasa Ndege emerged as the second runners-up in the Best Life Agent of the Year's category, while ICAEA Lions Bob Tayebwa received the award for the highest number of endowment policies.
This award means a lot to me. It's a reward for my very hard work. Winning this award, it takes a lot of hard work, persistency, patience, and I'm really honored and very thankful to my clients that have trusted me in the past year to be their agent. This is to us.
The 13th Annual Uganda Insurers Association Awards are aiming at empowering and rewarding the best in the insurance sector.
Uganda Insurance Association wants stakeholders and regulators to digitalize insurance for easy accessibility and dissemination of insurance packages to consumers. Now, they believe that the use of digital insurance options by Ugandan consumers will create supplementary trust with the insurers, leading to an increase in the usage of insurance by Ugandans.
To tap into the broader small-scale and medium-sized enterprises, the Uganda Insurers Association want investors on the insurance business to be dynamic and design micro-insurance products to enhance enrollment.
These are people who probably may not necessarily have regular income. Some of them earn per day, others earn once a week, others earn per quarter. How do we ensure that the products, the premiums, also resonate with their income cycles? That is also very, very important.
Stakeholders recommend redefining the complexity of insurance with appropriate policies as per the community demands.
We must be able to demonstrate to the low-income earner, to the people at the bottom of the pyramid, that the premiums that they pay are worth the product that they are receiving. And how do we demonstrate this value? By ensuring that we pay claims. The person at the bottom of the pyramid would want to clearly see that, number one, you're paying the claim, but also number two, the product is relevant for them.
We've talked about designing appropriate products that make a lot of sense for the mass market. And obviously, lastly, but most importantly, distribution. How can we reach the mass market? How can we reach the unserved? We have about maybe in excess of 39 million people who don't have some kind of formal insurance package for themselves and their loved ones.
By leveraging on the digital and new technological innovations, the sector intends to unpack different premium packages to attract public appreciation.
Mobile insurance penetration has not yet expanded as much as we think it has, so access is one of them. How do we then utilize USSD, for example, to be able to make sure that those who have feature phones can also have access to these insurance products? The other piece obviously has to do with information itself, information dissemination. I think we have a big job as the UIA, as the members of UIA, to be able to disseminate the information and demystify it as much as possible in a language that the mass market understands.
Proper handling on insurance services and timely compensation for damages are expected to win public trust in the insurance business for efficiency and reliability. Komagum Rogers for UBC.
Government has been asked to consider women with disabilities when it comes to the issue of public procurement because they need to participate in the economic growth of this country. State Minister in charge of persons with disabilities at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Helen Asambo, says most of the developmental programs of a Myoga and parish development model should target these categories of persons.
On participation of youth, women and persons with disabilities and local providers in public procurement held at Hotel Africana. State Minister in charge of persons with disabilities, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Helen Asamo, says women are key in national development.
That percentage which has been reserved has not been operationalized so much. Now we are saying the women have been empowered and they need to be involved in procurement processes. It's not to say that many of them have not been involved. I know women are in areas of supplies, in areas of catering, some of them on road maintenance as well. And maybe in schools, they are building things like the toilets and ABCD. But I want to say that the women are out there who are able to carry out high procurement areas. And we want to pray that the PPDA guidelines will really be involved in them and they will be sensitized on how to get into these procurement processes.
The woman member of parliament, Cherego District Rosa Vega, decried the increasing practices of corruption that fail service delivery for rural persons.
To talk about PPDA, can we have value for taxpayers' money? Not to make people get rich, they start building in our swamps. All this mushrooming Construction works in the swamps is as a result of BPDS extravagance.
Make sure that we waive registration fees for women's businesses in the villages, for youth businesses in the villages. I am very happy that the steps we are taking today are the steps that we need to take to develop our country. We cannot talk about creating jobs without talking about facilitating the environment that makes it easy for a young person, for a young woman, for a person with disability to own a business and have a marketplace.
The Executive Director, Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, Benson Turami, noted that tender are not respected, leading to failure to honor the provisions.
Our both operational, structural and cultural barriers that included some of them were norms, the norms, the culture, others were economical barriers like lack of access to finance, others were capacity building. These women didn't have actually the capacity to participate. Some of these women didn't have access to information about public procurement opportunities, while some of these women didn't know where to begin from.
Junior Achievement Uganda and Junior Achievement Africa, in partnership with the Zurich Foundation, held a two-day workshop for trainers of trainers. Now, this initiative is part of their collaborative effort to drive positive change through their social equity program, SEP. Now, the program is expanding to Burkina Faso, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Tanzania and Togo to empower an additional 46,000 post-secondary youth aged 16 to 25. The ultimate goal of this expansion is targeting over 500,000 youth by the end of the 3-year partnership. The workshop was Tuesday, graced by Dr. Edith Riatemba, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of Vocational Education and Training at the Ministry of Education and Sports, who called on these trained to carry on the skills to reduce on youth unemployment.
We are so happy to have this program. Today we have been able to reach out to over 60 participants who have been equipped with skills and knowledge that they will use to train young people from the age of 16 up to 25. As we go out to the different regions, I would call upon different people in the different parts of the country to support our trainers to be able to reach to the local communities, to mobilize these participants so that they can be able to be trained and given skills when it comes to entrepreneurship, and they are able to solve problems within their communities.
What I've learned from this training is the canvas model that helps in summarizing one's business. Let's say the crucial partners that you need, the segment, the customer segments, the value proposition, and then the resources that you need, and then the cost structure.
The program that engages the out-of-school, the tertiary institutions, talk about universities, vocational institutes in elements of entrepreneurship, financial readiness, financial literacy, and work readiness. So I went on ahead to participate, learned the skills, and trained. So what has brought me here today is to get more skills and to find ways of how we can enable the young people have access to these very skills.
I have participated in the social equity and the junior achievement for the training of trainers because it has empowered us, added us more knowledge on how to go back to our communities and transform the lives of young people through entrepreneurship.
Any person to have a job must have those skills that is able to produce, is able to do some work. Because if, for example, you have knowledge without the competences to do or to solve a problem, you are not easily going to be employed. And therefore, what I want to urge every Ugandan, it is no longer about the academic papers. It is about what you are able to do. And in that, all Ugandans, all youth, all students in schools, even those who have gotten the very first class, should go to TVET institutions, should go to skills training, should go to where they can get competencies to be able to work such that they are able to employ themselves. That is what is going to be a game changer. If you don't have the skills, there is no job, there is no work, and therefore you can never be competitive. Competitiveness requires for you to be able to do and produce a product on the market.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Luo segment. Learn about the famous legend of Jipiri and Labongo and how the Alur, Acholi, Jonam and Japadola Jaluo emerged.
The Luo are basically Nilotic.
We are believed to have come from Baragazelle in the Sudan.
When this colonialism came,
Rorawit saved the life of men actually.
fought fiercely. Which was imprisoned here on that hill, Kololo.
Awich remained the greatest hero in Acholi.
Premiering on Saturday the 20th of April 2024, 3 to 8 p.m. at Ndere Center. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Welcome back from that break. Now, Victoria Sugar Limited in Luwero District has supported over 500 farmers in Masindi District by equipping them with farm inputs, agriculture loans, and instant payments of cane upon delivery. The Outgrowers Manager, Victoria Sugar Limited, Mugisa Muchinga, told UBC that the company also supports youth to open up gardens for farmers.
Districts of Masindi, Hoima, and Kiriandongo. So far, our total cane yield is 45 metric tons per acre in Bunyoro, compared to Busoga with 24 metric tons and Buganda 27 metric tons. The Outgrowers Manager, Victoria Sugar Limited, Mugisa Mushinga, says the company supports farmers to grow cane, which has attracted buyers from other districts outside Bunyoro sub-region.
Some of the activities we do in Masindi, we support the youth, we employ the youth harvesting our canes, and this is one of our fields of Victoria Sugar Limited, where we are harvesting, and we support the youth by employing them, and we also support farmers who want to join us. We prepare land for them.
A cane carter said he takes full responsibility to look after a number of family members through cane carting.
Cane farmers, growers, Victoria.
Chairman of Bunyoro Sugarcane Farmers Cooperative Union Limited, Kazim Baraine Mohammed, says they mobilize farmers to have a bargaining power in production and sales. A cane buyer, Kahima Joshua, told UBC the cane buying process.
These are farmers who are bringing their own sugarcane here. And I don't think that really a farmer harvesting his own field can be called a poacher. That field is his. He planted it, he grew the sugarcane.
Sports news now, and Luwero District LC5 Chairman Erastus Chibirango has asked some school managers and mercenaries that they hire to participate in games for children of school-going age to stop the habit immediately. He was at the opening ceremony of Uganda Secondary Schools Sports Association Fresh Dairy Bowl Games 2024 at the Arena of Visions, Ndeje University in Luwero District. The USSSE Fresh Dairy Bowl Games 2024 were organized by Uganda Secondary Schools Sports Association and the Association of Secondary School Head Teachers of Uganda under the Ministry of Education and Sports.
To thank the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association for choosing Ndeje to host these games. As far as I remember the history, this must be the first time the school is hosting these national games.
We take the opportunity to open the tournaments or the sports symposium in Ndeje here. We have had an opportunity to learn that the government has set up a law whereby mercenaries should not be entertained, or whereby schools should not use mercenaries. It has been very rampant, and parents have been suffering actually.
We believe that every child who goes to school should get an opportunity to be exposed to sports. And not only at the sports at the school, but also at higher levels. And that's why you find that at every level, we try as much as possible to maximize the number of students who are going to the next level. It is no surprise that this may be one of the biggest championships south of Sahara, because right here we have more than 5,000 participants, more than 200 schools teams here. I think that one speaks volumes as far as mass sports is concerned.
A Holland teacher signing for a child from as a fishermonger and telling senior ones who are aged 12, 13, this, whenever they ask you, say this one is a child of this school. You are teaching thieves, you are teaching liars, you are teaching corruption. We should arrest you, and that's what the law is giving us now. Using non-bona fide players is now criminal. Madam, let your teachers know.
And that story brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In life, there are no limits, only the ones we set for ourselves. Hello everyone, I'm Captain Robert Boye Wakwea, Chief Pilot of Uganda Airlines, the national carrier of the Republic of Uganda. For close to 15,000 hours, I've soared through the skies, embracing the thrill of aviation and the boundless possibilities it offers. With over 7,000 hours of jet time and more than 3,000 as a commander, I've witnessed the power of perseverance and the rewards it brings. But it's not just about numbers or flight hours. It's about the people we connect, the dreams we help fulfill, and the lives we touch. Every time we take off, we embark on a journey together, bound by the shared destination, the pursuit of dreams, the exploration of new horizons, and the celebration of human connections. As Chief Pilot of Uganda Airlines, it's my duty and privilege to lead our exceptional crew in delivering the utmost safety, comfort, and excellence to each and every passenger. Now, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up and join me as I take you through my life's journey and flying experience.
Cruise at 445, contact departures. For your number 1. Contact count up to 4.
International Labour Day is celebrated every year on 1st May. This day is commemorated in appreciation of the contribution of workers to national development. It is also used to raise consciousness on the importance of promoting and protecting the rights of workers. This year, the national celebrations will be held at Mukabura Grounds, Fort Portal City, under the theme Improving Access to Labour Justice, a prerequisite for increased productivity. Join us on Wednesday, 1st May, as we bring you the celebrations live on UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
Amanya gange mpitibwa Lubaale Research, chairperson wa Bwaisetu Sako, era nga ndi mutuuze wa Bwaisetu ng'omoloka, era wano wenyimiridde we wali office ya PDM Sako ya Bwaisetu. Wano we tuli ye zone emu ku zone ezikola omuluka gwa Bwaisetu, nga Bwaisetu tulina zone 8. Emirimu gyange emitongole oba gyandibadde emikulu nga ssentebe wa Bwaisetu Sako. Emirimu egyange nina kuteekesa nkola ebyo gavumenti byebeeweereza mu Sako zaffe, nina okubiriza bammemba bange ne bakulembeze bannange tuteekese ebyo byeteekeddwa okukola mu Bwaisetu, tusobole olaba nga Bwaisetu at least mu Kampala okutwaliza ne Kawempe division Bwaisetu yekulembera, era nga bwe kiri nti mu Kampala district si kwewaana naye Bwaisetu eri ku ntiko, era nga moto yaffe bwegamba nti Bwaisetu ku ntiko mu nkola ya PDM. President Museveni gye yatuleetera nga